Hello everybody, how are you? I'm Fotini. I'm coming to you from Athens, Greece. I'm a self-knowledge consultant, a high priestess, a writer, esoteric astrologer, and I'm sharing in my channel Holistic Healing various ways and codes of expansion of consciousness, of knowing thyself deeper, expanding your etheric bodies, in implementing new codes for the new template of relationship after the new Venus star during October 2022, and so much more that you can find in my offerings on the community board on my channel. And usually I put them also below in the description box after each channel. Today I want to talk to you about my book, A Course in Healing, how I channeled my book, the 12 stages of healing, which is basically knowing thyself through these portals, through these 12 portals, and about the language of trauma. And I'm going to start my story of how this book was channeled from my higher self and what it means to not use the language of your trauma, which is the language that is connected, that is the connection between you and your trauma bond. And so you cannot go to your trauma and you cannot go deep within it through the same language, which is the language that you speak in this current incarnation, because this language has shaped a specific neurological path through which you experience and you talk to yourself with the same way. So let's go back to the beginning of my story of how I channeled this book. By the way, this book came through Archangel Raphael, the beautiful emerald archangel, the etheric ashram of which is the Temple of Truth, and it is above Crete, the island in my country, in Greece. I believe that you all know and you have heard about Crete. So above Crete there is the etheric Temple of Truth. It's like an etheric representation of Parthenon. The sculptor who made the architecture of Parthenon is an incarnation of Raphael. And the book that I channeled came through Archangel Raphael because he is responsible for the healing of the soul. So my soul connected with him and I received the download of my book, and I will explain in a while, because while I was writing I didn't know that that was a book. I was given the title of the book before the download. Then they guided me to connect the title with the book. I published the book. I even sent it to Hay House in England. And then 1 year later, they gave me the 12 steps of the healing, which is in a way the titles of each chapter of the book. But the 12 steps are basically the new psychology of the new era, because knowing thyself is coming out of addressing these 12 questions and giving answer, and in that way you find the path towards your soul. So in the summer of 2013, I myself and 23 more persons from around the world, from the four corners of Gaia, we met in a seminar in Corfu, and the name was Zoe, which means life in the Greek language. After the seminar, which lasted 1 week, and it was a very intense Tantra and cosmology, I returned to my home in Athens and started integrating what had happened. During that week, I remember the second day, I started hearing within my head someone talking to me in English. Now, I want to explain something here. I speak English since I was 8 years old, but the way I was speaking and the way I took my the certificates about English was like a Greek who was learning English. When this voice came that the second night during the seminar, I started hearing English, but with a different accent and in a flow. Like I wasn't me that was speaking. It was the first time that I was experiencing something like that, and to tell you the truth, because it was the first time that I started channeling. I know that now after 13 years, of course, because I channeled Magdalene and Yeshua and Mother Mary also. I was afraid. I was totally afraid of what was happening. I thought that I went crazy. This voice started telling me things within my head in flow, with no mistakes, because for those of you that you are listening to me right now, I might make some mistakes, but that voice made no mistake, and it was in flow. That continued. But at that point, during the seminar, I didn't do anything. The seminar ended, and I returned to my home, as I said, and around the end of September, the seminar was in August. At the end of September, I heard again this voice starting downloading and talking, but this time it wasn't like guiding me or telling me. It was like a story, and I had start typing And so each time I opened my computer and I was writing. In the middle of the night, in various hours within the day, it was coming and go, coming and go. This lasted for approximately from the end of September of 2013 till the beginning of April of 2014. At the end of April 2014, I was about to go to another seminar in an island in Greece. At that point, I was continuing writing the book. I didn't know that that was a book, by the way, but I was continuing writing. And the day before that seminar, in April, Archangel Raphael appeared in my sleep. And he told me, this is a book, and you have to finish it. And it's going to finish. Then you will publish it. And indeed, after a while, after some days, the voice stopped. And during that summer, I make arrangement and published my book. And I presented it on December of 2014. 1 year later, I sent it to Hay House in London as an outside writer. They at that time were creating a contest for new writers around the world, and I sent it. They didn't pick it. It's okay, because they picked one. And then I was guided again by Raphael, who told me that, who gave me the 12 steps like chapters. Now, the book itself, it's in a code language, and it, as I said, it was given to me in English. And the 12 steps of healing is also in English. Then he guided me that the answers to these 12 steps, 12 questions, 12 chapters, are the steps to inner knowing. And through the answers, we can find in which stage we are and what is the next step. This, by the way, is the 5th ray of concrete knowledge, which is the emerald ray, the green ray. And it's a specific way of healing yourself by knowing what it is that you need to heal within. Like the stage that you are and the steps that you have to take in order, by answering the main question, in order to feel complete and reach the final stage, which is the 12th chapter, which is healing. It's the most important thing through this whole procedure and transmission was that I myself regained my confidence, was connected with myself, found out what was really happening in my life, and one step led to another, and started embodying this healing. And then new activation came that are in my offerings, and new codes, and so on. That was the preparation for me to start learning who I truly was, my multidimensional self, connected the human part of me with my soul and higher self. And something very important, that is the second part of the video that you have to know, and is connected with your mother, your physical mother, but also the word matter. Mother comes from the Latin word matter. Matter is in opposition to spirit, and the connection between spirit and matter is what you see. It's you, it's me, it's the embodiment. But this link has a certain language, and it comes from the language of origin of this incarnation and of your mother. Let's say, for example, you were born in Spain, or you were born in India, or you were born in the United States. I, in this incarnation, was born in Greece. But the thing is that they started to talk to me in English, because I had to bypass the language of my country, because that was the country in which I was born through the womb of my mother. And so I had to bypass the trauma bond and go find a new neurological way within my brain, that's why the channeling, so that I will start seeing what truly happened in my life, and that I was the byproduct of my old life, and then changing it gradually. Since 2014, it's been 12 years now. That's why now the next guidance was open the channel and name it holistic healing. All is the wisdom, is the birth of wisdom, the symbol of Pallas Athena, my city, and has to do exactly with knowing thyself is what you need in order to feel complete, because at the last chapter there is the union and there is the healing. But in order to reach this place, you have to find another language to talk. That's why when I share my book around the world, I have sold more than 500 copies without doing anything. Once I tried to send it to Amazon, and I will try that again, but I distribute it via ebook and through my channel now and through my clients, because it's a practical psychological way to know thyself and work with modern psychology in various ways. So if you like to order the book, read it, and then receive and have a session with me about the 12 stages of healing, you can do that by sending me an email, and we can set a meeting, and or you can have first the book and then set a meeting. It's usually the way I do it, and then start working with you in this way. You will find out, because this book and this course, which is a course, I had a session with a client of mine about within the Way of the Rose 2 days ago, and she read the book and told me, Foutini, this is the modern psychology. This is the new way of psychotherapy. And to tell you the truth, when I was receiving all that, I didn't know that. Imagine that we are entering a new era, a new way of thinking. Saturn, Neptune in 0 degrees Aries in 13 days from now, on the 20th of February. Before that, the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius, and my work, my offering to humanity was a new way of healing, not through thousands of hours of psychotherapy. It's a totally new way, because it goes directly to the now moment, asking the necessary question and giving the necessary answer. And from that point, you start your path, addressing each time the know-how of each chapter. And each chapter has, it's like a pyramid. Each chapter has has its own step. For example, there is a chapter, I will show you in a minute the book and the steps, of course not from a close, because everything that came is a holistic way. It's the book, it's the 12 steps, it's the codes, it's the opening of the etheric centers, and then there is the ebook that you can also find in the offering with the Rose Oracles, who are also channeled messages, not tarot, channeled messages about how to work each day with your higher self, integrating the various aspects. So this is a holistic way. And by the way, this is the way of the rose. This is the way of love. Love in our times is entering the field of love. It's not about romantic love anymore. It's about integrating the field of love, embodying love. But in order to do that, first you have to know where the disconnection were. And the most serious disconnection is the trauma bond that you had with your mother. Because even if your mother was the best one, you are connected with a state of being that came through an ancestral line that it's now gone. And so you are entering in a new era, and you have to shape a new way of being. And in order to do that, you are not healing the trauma, you are addressing a new mindset. But the mindset, it's like computer. It doesn't have the same language anymore. When the computer language started 30, 50, 40 years ago, it was, for example, DOS, then came Windows, then the various numbers of Windows, and today we have, I don't know, all this new way of speaking. It's the same way with our brain. And now this brain, because Aries rules the brain, we have two new planets entering this field, rewiring, reprogramming how we will do the connection within, and giving certain answers to what it is that we are searching for. I'm going to show you now Okay, I cannot find. How can I do it? Give me a minute. I cannot find a way to change and the screen, but anyway, I will post another video after that with a photo of the book, and if you are interested, you can send me an email and have the book, and or have a session about the 12 chapters if you are interested to work with me. Thank you very much for listening, and I will come again with another video very soon. Bye for now.